Well, good morning and welcome to the Real Masters tournament. You're just joining us. You'll see that we've got Bobby Lane there, and he's in Florida. We've got John Cox, David Walker, and Bobby, and some special guest commentators today. But we're just getting dialed in here. Bart, if you would give the guys a count in, and we'll get this tourney going.
All right, gentlemen. Let's touch gloves and come out. And Bobby, remember, there's no rules. So got a shiner in the bait box. Let it go. 3, 2, 1. Lines in. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Boy, it looks beautiful there, Bob.
It is pretty. Gorgeous. I did hear that Walker won a local tournament up there on Douglas last time he fished with 22 pounds. So I would expect good things from him today.
All right. Are we on? We there?
We got you, David.
How about that? The magic of the internet.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah. It's just my daily struggle with technology, guys.
Yeah. It's the same for all of us, believe me.
It's supposed to work so good, and then it doesn't. Okay. All right. Well, I think we're ready to go, ain't we?
Yeah, okay. Bart's counted you in, David, so you're ready to rock.
I'm just burning daylight, ain't I? Yeah.
Walker, you got a big school of them found out there on Douglas?
I'm up in the river fishing willows today there because I figured this would be a better chance to just catch some fish flipping because I don't know that the water's come up some more, and a couple of them places where I had a bunch of fish, them fish are gone. So I figured I'll come up here and do this. And you know what's weird about Douglas is the cell phone coverage is better kind of way up the lake than it is down in the middle part of it. I have no idea why.
David, is there any truth to the rumor you won a local derby there in the last week or so?
I did. We fished Saturday. This past Saturday we had 21.79, and we really caught them. But man, it's been nothing but cold, and the water keeps coming up, and so that's not the best situation for fishing offshore because we caught all those fish deep that day, and it was a good day. It was better than what we was expecting because I knew we could catch some, but I didn't know if we'd catch much size. But we ended up with we had 5 that looked just alike. They was all 4.5s. Good times. I mean, it's not a John Cox kind of day, but it was good for me. Yeah, I don't know what to expect up here today. This is, as you can see, I've got a lot of targets, and these fish are going on the beds. So I don't know if I can catch some just out and about, roaming around, or if I'm going to have to really get in there and flip for them. I know with the water coming up, there's more fish heading this way, so it can't all be spawning, but you know how it is with bass. You never know what you're going to get, what they're going to give you. Oh, God, I just had a bite. I had a bite, Bobby.
Oh, my gosh.
I know. I missed it.
That's scary. Good. That is good to hear, though, Walker, that you're not on your game all the way yet.
Exciting news, right? Yeah. Where are you fishing today, Bob?
I'm in a little private pond. Well, it's actually beautiful lake. Just here in Lakeland. It's about a quarter of a mile from the house, and I drive by it every day. I used to spend a lot of time out here, learned how to ski out here, and my parents just live up the road, and came out here last night, me and my son, and we caught about, I don't know, we probably caught 8 or 10 bass. We didn't catch any big ones, but we had fun. So
Right.
I thought we would just, with the weather changing, I thought we'd slip in here this morning and hang out, flip some. Pretty cool. I got some big old sticks to flip. I got docks, so I'm mixing it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Waiting
How
another bite.
how weird is it to be home fishing this time of year? You know what I mean? Like I
Oh.
never fish. I never fish around the house this time of year. Never home.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
No, that's strange.
Kind of. I'm getting used to it, which is not a good thing because I hope we get started sooner than later. But
Yeah, no kidding, right?
this is definitely different.
Yeah.
I would imagine somewhere in one of these big old stick piles, there's got to be a bass. We didn't catch any flipping sticks yesterday, but it looks too good. I don't want to give it up.
Well, I mean, with it cooling off, that should be the deal. Usually in Florida,
Yeah.
There's always a way to catch one in Florida. Hot or cold, flipping's always a good idea, ain't it?
Yeah, you can't go wrong flipping in Florida. That's a must. You better have a fair amount of flipping sticks on your deck because you don't know what you're going to battle sometimes. Go hang in some of them big ones, or you get in some of that thick junk, and I mean those fish they break rods, break reels. I mean there's some giants that live down here.
Heartbreakers. I got a fish. I got one, Bobby.
Here we go.
Oh my God! Here we go. Oh, you see this giant? Oh, this one's real nice.
Sounded big.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Not so much. I'm gonna say he might weigh a pound, maybe.
Well, it's a good start though.
Out. I'm gonna weigh him and then throw him back instead of keeping him because I don't know what I'm gonna get rained out.
I'll keep a tally here for you, David.
I don't know if he'll weigh. Yep, 104.
104.
104.
That's a good chunk.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. He was sporty. He had a lot of spunk in him there, Bobby. Caught him on the old chatterbait.
Oh wow! I tied one on last night just because I knew I was going up against you.
It's just hard to. I mean, that thing catches them like so many places. I wish he was a lot bigger though.
That's big carp. That's fish in that tree. Oh, I thought I had a bite.
I think that a lot.
Yeah, it just felt good. You get that little mush. I had a little mush feeling, and I was like, oh, maybe.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe. Cox is normal, Walker. He's just letting everybody get started, and he'll show up. Oh, look, there's another one.
He just wanted to see how much he needs.
He's shopping.
It would have been a close battle last week between me and him had we weighed him. I caught a big one right at the end and had a couple other good ones in there. I would have been close. I think he probably still would have won, but
right.
It was fun. I know Hank Cherry didn't have a prayer. He was fishing a local pond, and that's where he screwed up.
You guys handed it to him, huh?
Yeah, he fished Norman in a miserable cold front, and it was me and Cox were on some private lakes, and we just killed him.
That's funny. Old Norman though, he's got so many fish in it though. God bless. You ever been to a lake that has like that many, like those 1.5 pound spots in it? It's amazing how many are in there, and they never seem to get any bigger.
No, and they're skinny. Right, that's the problem. It's like there's too many of them. There's not enough bait.
Yeah, it's been that way like always.
Oh, there's one, Walker.
Oh, here we go.
No,
mudfish.
No, it's a fish.
Oh,
Keeper come off my hook there, but we'll weigh him. I'll weigh him for you. Oh, I didn't bring my scale. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was gonna say, as many as these you've done now, Bobby.
Bobby's actually technically a veteran of this tour.
I'm gonna say.
All right, what does this one got to weigh to take over the lead?
See, first liar ain't got a chance around here.
What is the lead right now, Jonathan?
1-4.
Okay, this one weighs 111.
111, nice.
111.
Oh, I'd have bet $10 you're going to say 1.5.
Pretty fish.
Yeah, we love seeing the fish.
Pretty fish. Oh, I hope I didn't. Oh, I'm still there. Am I still there? Yeah, I'm still there.
You're still there.
Yeah. Ooh, I got a pretty dock in front of me. Dropped my power poles.
Hey, that cold weather might have put an end to the topwater fishing around there, you think?
Yeah, I didn't even tie one on. I pulled my keeper on my hook, so I'm going to give you a little lead time here to catch up.
Yeah, I wish I was.
Look at that, Bart. Have you ever seen so many Bass Mafia bags in your life?
I can't. The camera's just a little high, Bobby.
Oh, is it? Golly, is it easy to stay organized now?
I like those money bags. Those things are great.
Money bags.
They're really good for that. For the Elastec, the Z-Man, because I like to keep that stuff in its original package. And so, I can just pile a bunch of those packages in that money bag. I agree. Or if you want to keep something getting ruined,
Yeah.
I was loading up the truck and boat yesterday with just piddling around because that's all we do anymore. And I called.
It's the truth.
And Cox had texted me out of the blue something, and I called him and I was telling him I have never been so organized in my life because the money bags. I said I can find anything I need now. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's
so easy, and I'm a slob too. I really am. Like the bigger the mess I make, it's so easy for me to make. My daughter's the same way, Lexi. I mean, if you give her, she's at home watching the kids. It's going to be a disaster when we get back. But if you told Amberly or Bobby Jr., they stay pretty clean. But I mean, I can make a mess quick, but it doesn't seem to be happening anymore.
dang.
I have got one pretty dock right here.
Uh-oh. Calling his shots.
I was calling my shots, but you got to put the bait where it's supposed to go.
It needs to go near the dock, right?
It needs to go near the dock. Yeah, not 2 feet in front of it or bounce it off like a basketball. Really would have meant, golly. I have to get back to been flipping the big weight so much.
You know, somebody was asking me yesterday, was I disappointed that ICAST wasn't going to be held this year? And that's, well, only the fact that, you know, it's it's the only time I get to see you guys. A lot. You know, I don't get to see you guys that often, and so ICAST is a good time to catch up. But it's been an interesting spring for sure.
Oh, you ain't kidding.
Wow, yeah, that is the crazy.
Are y'all open back up, David? Tennessee pretty much open back up.
What happened to our man Walker? I'm going to pick up the Walker special here.
Well, yes and no. It's still like, you know, a lot of the stores are open, a lot of businesses, but there's still, you know, there's a lot of hoops. Like you go to eat or something and they want to take your temperature. And, you know, it's just, I don't know, it's weird. I'm not a fan of all this closed down and lack of mobility. I did you do it, but those are for everything. So I don't know. We are open, but it's not business as usual. That's for sure.
Guys, we've got a bunch of live viewers now, and just some new folks coming in asking where you're fishing, and what you're fishing with.
All right. Well, I'm on Douglas Lake. That's in East Tennessee. It's right here at the base of the Great Smoky Mountains. And a matter of fact, on the skyline back behind it, you can see that the mountains are actually they're all white. And it was that way melting off it, but it's kind of cold out here today. And so my technique is I'm fishing shallow where a lot of fish are moving up into these willows and they're spawning. So there's a lot of bushes. So I'm moving around, throwing a Sling Blades spinner bait, a Z-Man chatter bait, and flipping my cross-eyes jig in those places that, because we got some cloud cover. So I'm thinking these fish may be not so glued to the target. So I don't know, doing a lot of search.
I am fishing a lake that looks like has a bunch of 1.5 pounders, because there's another one.
Here we go. 1.5 you to death.
I'm down here in South Lakeland. Just a little old private pond down here. It's something different than what I have been. You know, some of these previous lives I've been flipping hyacinths and fishing deeper grass. So I wanted to get a different view of things. This one's loaded with docks and trees. And so far it's pretty cool. I just caught one. This is gonna.
Misty, we've got an awesome shot of your finger right now.
1 pound, 10 ounces.
Sorry, or Bobby.
Oh,
Madeline. Sorry, Madeline. We got an awesome shot of your finger right now, Madeline.
Oh, I got an awesome shot of your finger. Oh, she said sorry.
No, it's
that
okay.
one weighed 110. I'll show you exactly what I caught it on. This new bait. I mean, I got pros calling me right and left. This is kind of like the flatworm. They're dying to get it. It's the power bait max scent creature hog. This thing has been a killer down here the last month and a half. It's been a killer everywhere, but I'm telling you, It is amazing how well, when you do get a bite, these fish eat it. And I'm also going to be throwing a spinnerbait a little bit today. I will be throwing a chatterbait just because Walker's, I'm fishing against him, and I know I got to have it tied on. These things get out of hand, and they turn on up there. They're liable to turn on down here. But it's a dirty pond. It's the water's pretty dirty, but wind's blowing. It was cool here this morning also. Just having fun. I love doing these lives, and I love fishing. It's a cool thing. So we're going to flip docks and fish trees, seawalls, anything that gets in our way.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, probably be fishing anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, that wind's starting to pick up right now. It is cold, man.
Would you have a big one hit?
Oh, the wind is starting to pick up. It is a cold wind, too. Jeez. Oh, got one, Bobby.
Oh, boy. Sounds good.
It does sound good. Definitely not a 1-4, that's for sure.
Oh, boy.
There we go. I mean, it's not a Bobby Lane fish, but it's pretty good.
Oh, I've caught 2 110s.
There you go. But look at them black spots all on him. Isn't that cool?
Gorgeous fish.
Douglas gets those spots, even at, I don't know if you can see it, right on top lip there.
Wow.
Bobby, he gets that chatterbait rolling. You're going to be in trouble.
Was that what he? Yeah, I thank you guys for letting me know what he caught that on, because I can't see, and I know damn well he ain't going to show me.
247.
247. Nice.
247. There you go. More like it.
Looks like John's going to be joining us here momentarily.
Oh.
Yeah. Guys, I'm hoping we can fish here. I'm not 100% sure. It's we just dumped in on we're trying to dump in on the side of this apartment complex. Here's the lake. It looks pretty sweet looking, but
here, let me get.
I don't know where.
Are you trespassing, John? Is that what you're telling me?
No. I mean, it looks like it's looks like anybody can put it in here. It's just pretty.
Yeah.
I'm sure. It looks like in here.
I'm sure.
That's funny.
I'm sure me and Walker could just drive right on over and dump our big old bass boats in there.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I don't even know if I can get this thing in. That right there might give us some issues. That's pretty. I don't know. This morning I already had a flat tire. I had to plug a nail in it. Gosh, or I had to plug it to pull a big old nail out of it. I think I got
There must be a theme. I had a flat on mine this week too.
Really? Gosh. Yeah, David, I didn't know. We both have lilies that are daughters.
Oh,
I got
didn't
a lily
know that.
too. Yeah.
Really? Hey,
Yeah.
Does she spell it with 3 L's or the 2
Yeah,
L's?
no, just one.
Yep. See, mine spells hers Lilly, and so
okay.
That's the difference, because there's quite a few lilies around, you know.
There really is. Yeah. I named mine. I didn't know what to name her. And then I was at the Red River, and I was like, before I left, I was like, man, if I went out of the lily pads the final day, we'll call her Lily. Somehow won the final day out of the lily pads. Unreal.
That is funny. So she really is lily pad.
Yeah.
We used to call our daughter that quite a bit when she was real little. But now she's driving. She's
oh my gosh. Yeah, my
16.
My Lily's
driving.
only I think she's 8.
Yeah, mine's miserable because she can't get her license yet.
Oh
she's
no,
16.
what you get her? Oh,
yeah,
she got her permit
she's 16,
too late.
but it's closed. That you can't get them yet.
Oh.
She's got her car. I'm telling you, she's burned 3 tanks of gas driving around the neighborhood. I hate it
That's
for her.
funny.
Yeah.
That is so funny. Yeah.
All right, you guys in there?
Cox, just put that thing, unhook it, and just get going real fast towards the lake and hit the brake.
Just launch it.
Just launch
it. Yeah. Yeah.
I might have to back halfway out into the lake.
The new way of really launching. I mean, it's like literal term.
There's a
John needs
Douglas
one of
bass.
those. He needs one of those.
Bass.
He needs one of those trailers with wheels. You know,
Not even gonna weigh it. Didn't even want to weigh it.
Oh my gosh. There's actually another there's another trailer here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's the lake police.
Yeah, they're just waiting for you to hurry up and get in so they can show you where to go.
Yeah.
We've been down this road. Don't play dumb, Cox.
That's right.
Scout team's been on the water since about 6. Right?
That's right. Uh-huh. Hopefully the minnows don't die.
Just throw it in reverse.
This is turning into how to launch a boat by
I'm afraid to drive any further in the lake.
I would be too, John.
Unbelievable.
Well, he's floating. He's got it now. No worries.
Oh, guys, I had the brake on the whole time. It was struggling so bad. I was like, I'm gonna get stuck. And the brake was on.
The what? That's ski buoys. That's where everybody skis. They ski between them buoys. Huh? Yeah. Well, it keeps them. I don't know. I'm not a water skier, but I do know they're supposed to go through those things. Cox, are you a water skier? You look like you might be.
I don't know. I'd take that.
My wife was asking me, what are these buoys that are all in a line out here? And I said, I got no idea. I'm assuming they're, I think they're for water skiers.
Right.
That would be Jeremy. Looks like he probably used to water ski.
Yeah,
he would know. We can ask him.
He probably barefoot water skied.
Yeah, I was more on the knee board.
Yeah.
Just put me on a tube and send me around. I was good with that.
Right.
More of a tuber.
Yeah.
and not a YouTuber either. Just OG tuber.
What is it? Oh, a parrot. Oh. I hear the police sirens. That can't be good.
Oh, that might be.
Oh, that's the bird.
Oh, I thought it might be the guys looking for John Cox where he's from.
Yeah. Oh no, it's the parrot talking. Wow, that's pretty cool. He's trying to tell me something. I just can't understand bird talk.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
John, the tournament next week starts at 6 a.m.
I'm telling you, when you got to go anywhere with the crew I got, you will never make it there on time.
Walker got another one?
He has captured one.
I did. Slight touch. I got us another one, shooter. Let's see what I got here. Somewhere in between those other two. $183.
183.
Oh, I got one, Walker.
Uh-oh.
That ain't a hog, but he's a, this is going to make this will be a 2. Yeah. What do you think? That's going to be a 210, 2. I don't know. Yeah, tell you what, he choked that crankbait. That's that new square bull by Berkeley, man. This thing is, that's what I was throwing last night. I should have started throwing it a little bit earlier.
Bobby, I keep checking my mailbox every day, but
CUDA pliers, gotta have them. Get them treble hooks out of there.
I've been waiting on a John Cox top secret worm now. What do we have?
Oh
John?
my gosh.
Sixth anniversary on that deal?
Yeah, at least. We might be going 7 or 8 on
2.5.
that one.
That one's a 2.5.
2.5.
Pretty fish.
Yep.
Nice.
Bart, we need to get that we need to get those ordered.
I know.
What are you looking for?
We're gonna get some of these special worms made again that I used to get from Producto. But I don't know. Hopefully the guy who pours them is still alive and knows the formula to make the plastic the right
Just throw
hardness.
some bologna in it. It'll work. The parrot is going to town, whistling at my wife. You ain't whistling at me.
Oh, don't sell yourself short, Bobby.
Yeah, that's true.
That parrot might start coming out with some colorful language here.
Cox, are you fishing yet, or are you still?
Yeah. No, I'm going now. Man, the lake looks it's a little dirtier than I thought it would be, but it's got hydrilla in it and some mats. The mats look super shallow, but
or you?
Yeah, it looks like there should be some great big ones in here.
Don't you hate to hear that, Walker?
Sounds tragic.
Hydrilla mats and hyacinths.
Yeah, cold front, Florida.
Yeah.
That's part of the dock there.
Let's see here.
Well, somebody else has been dibbling around. Huh? Somebody else's braid. Mine's just a little stronger. That's something. Somebody's been flipping a horny toad.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now you look.
Yeah, somebody's been flipping a horny toad into that tree.
Something new every day.
Yep. Cox, what's the choice of bait this morning?
Right now I'm throwing a half-ounce sturdy jig with a max set meaty chunk in white. And the reason I
swim
picked
jig.
that, swim jig. The reason I picked that is because it was tied on and it was on the top of the stack. So I'm gonna give it a try for a minute.
Been there, done that. What are you throwing now?
Yeah.
What do I got tied on?
Yeah. What's on top here? I'm telling you, the fish in my house, I went to feed them yesterday, and only one came in, and that normally is a sign that, with that cooler weather, some of these fish might have tried to go spawn again. So I'm hoping that the water's the further this way it's getting a little bit clear. Hoping maybe there'll be a couple over here. Maybe I'll see some on beds in here.
What's the temp, John?
I don't know. I haven't.
Well, I'm 2 hours. I'm 2 hours south of him, and I'm at 78 degrees. So I would imagine it's
wow. So it's warm there. Yeah, I just touched my bait. It's pretty warm here too. It's weird though. Florida, we get that weird, like really late spawn sometimes, and they're like, you can tell it's already like their second or third time around.
Yeah,
and they're just skinny, and they get
weird.
Up there
You think you see?
Oh,
you think you see a tilapia bed, and you flip over there, and a 4-pounder swims off with it.
Yeah. That's what they do. They get up in those tilapia beds.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We've had the same conditions, same as last week, right after a mini front comes through.
Yeah, they bite all week, and then the day you fished alive, the wind and the cold weather comes through.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it amazing how even a small tournament can affect the weather?
That's for sure.
What are you working on there, Bobby?
I am tying me another Fusion 4-aught hook in. These sticks here are like, this almost looks like Lake Falcon. These sticks are really tough, and I hung up in the bottom of them. 65-pound braid, and I just bent the hook a little bit. Instead of bending it back, I'd rather tie a new one on, just because I cannot stand ripping a hook out and then bending it back. It's like it weakens it the more you do that. With Cox and Walker already on the big fish, I don't want to screw up if I do catch one today.
Yeah. So Bobby, he's always fishing for the one.
Yeah, I love fishing for that one. I really do. We're going to idle across here. Quick bathroom break for the photographer. All right.
There we go.
You want to do it? Who's got one there? You, Walker?
No, no, my AirPods cut out for some reason. Just the usual technical difficulty stuff.
It happens, doesn't it?
Oh, all the time.
John, how's the homeschooling going?
We're doing some of it right now. It's they were supposed to be they're supposed to both be on the line today, but we went ahead and dropped one. One of them went on for about 30 minutes, and then told the teacher she had to go. But it's going, man. Gosh, I don't know if they're ever going to go back to school. Hopefully next year. Or the end of this year, they'll start back up.
How are their grades, John?
Pretty good. My oldest one, he's taking college classes now. He's got all I think he's got all A's.
How were your grades?
My grades weren't so great. I think a lot of my grades were made up so that I could play baseball. That was
yeah. Bobby's asking any fisherman, "How's your grades?"
Yeah, well, I like to feel better about myself.
What were your grades, Bobby?
Not real good. That's why I fish.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay. I'm going to idle us back into here. I got to just, I'm getting a little further back in the junk, Bobby. Heading
What I'm talking
into,
about.
get further in there.
John, what are you switching to there?
I'm going to Maxent General. I was just looking. I think Savannah, she's been fishing in the backyard some. I just found about 10 empty packs of them. So I think I got about 3 with me today. So, but I just saw one here, Garden Fry.
That's a caught fish.
No, I don't know. Hey, I've sucked all year catching them off beds. I don't know what's been going on. In any of the big tournaments, I think I've only weighed 1 or 2. Crazy. I just like after the catching them on that Fritz side and that first one, cranking, which is never done before. That it ruined me.
It ruined you, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yep.
It was like I can't let it sit or anything.
No patience. You want to
None.
get to winding them in again.
Yeah.
I love winding them in.
Boy, there's nothing better.
It is.
Oh, here it is.
We're just welcoming Jeremy Starks now.
Morning, Jeremy.
Good morning.
Hey,
I've been
Jeremy.
watching you guys on YouTube a little bit. Enjoying the morning. It looks like David, you're up beating the banks this morning, fishing those flooded willows. Is that what you've been doing all day?
Yeah. That's what planned on doing coming up here because the water just keeps coming up. It's slowly rising, and these fish are moving up here to spawn. So I think I'm doing the right thing, but this cold weather has made them not nearly as mean as I'd like them to be.
Are you seeing any kind of shad spawn the last few days?
No. It just got so cold. We've had cold nights, like just all this week. It's just been cold, and even during the day when it does, if we get some sun, it's just sort of a cold wind, so it never really lets the water warm up much. And so that the shad spawn that we had like 2 weeks ago was great. The fish was they were so much fun. I mean, I think every fish in the lake was up around the bank chasing them. But that shad spawn ended, and typically you'll get some more happening again. Not very long after that, but I guess just because of the colder weather, they're not doing it.
Now, does that lake have gizzard shad and?
Yes, it does. It has both. Yeah, it does. There's a really good shad population in this lake. That's why there's so many bass in it, I guess, because We keep a lot of shad in here. Crappie fishing's good. The bass fishing's good. And that's their primary forage too. So, but right now we got the spawn going on, and you know how that can affect your fish.
John, what did you just catch?
That caught me about a 12-incher. It's crazy, you know. I'm seeing some up here swimming around, and they're acting so weird. And I threw it in front of it looked like about a 4-pounder, and that little guy shot out of nowhere and got it.
Figures, right?
Yeah.
What private body of water are you on today?
So I was looking on my on Google Earth and stuff, and there's this pond that the highway runs right over, and it looked like there was like some kind of old dirt ramp next to it. So we just drove there. I put in here a really long time ago, and we're just trying here. I don't know. I mean, I think the truck. I don't think we'll get run off, but I don't know if the truck will have anything left in it when we go to put it on the trailer.
You don't have any cattle or donkeys around it like Bobby did last week, do you?
No. No.
Yeah, them old cows. That was something else.
Yeah, John, you'll probably have your windows will be knocked out, and there'll be a ticket on the windshield.
Yeah, I'll probably get all of it there. There's one other boat out here, but I haven't seen him yet.
That's the game warden.
Yeah.
Certainly looks like you guys got some good weather this morning. David looks a little cold, but Florida looks warm and sunny.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah,
nice.
It was 55 degrees this morning, but it is warming up fast.
I don't think it'll get to 55 here today. Mm-hmm. Still flipping. I haven't had a flipping bite. Oh yeah, I did.
Oh, that's a little muddy in
Yeah, I thought the water was gonna be a little bit clearer where I came today, but I could see the beds kind of. I'm gonna see if that one I saw will come back.
David, I know there's a couple marinas for sure. There may be a lot more than that, but I remember a couple marinas last time we fished Douglas. Do they ever come into play in tournaments there?
They don't, and well, that is definitely not a very normal pattern for Douglas, and I'm always talked about that. I don't really know why. I know there wasn't enough of them, so that made it obvious. But now that there's enough docks around, but there still seems to be, I don't know. It's hard to find a dock pattern at all on Douglas.
I would have thought with the shad spawn, when it does go down, they would have been spawning around some of those floating docks.
Oh, I agree. That's typical. But I'll tell you what, normally they'll spawn around all this stuff that floats in Douglas. Like we get so much because water goes up and down so much. So there's those trash piles and logs and stuff, and it's just floating everywhere. And that seems to be what the shad really spawn around the most. And this year we had a really, it was decent early in the year. So a lot of the banks had this grass that grew up on them. Just typical old weeds and grass and stuff. And when that first flooded, boy, those shad went to that and they were spawning in it like crazy. And that's when the fishing was so good. Because if you've seen a green bank anywhere, kind of reminiscent of the Kentucky Lake and the yellow flowers.
Yellow flowers.
Yeah.
When you
Yellow flowers. I remember them.
Oh my gosh, Kentucky Lake, that used to be that. You talk about fun. God, you could catch so many fish doing that. And this year here, we had something similar to that, where we had all this green grass that got flooded. It was all about 6 to 10 inches tall. And man, them shad were in that spawning, and those bass were in there. And I mean, it was good times.
Yeah, when they're up there on that shad spawn, aggressive, shallow like that, it's hard to beat it. And just like you said with Kentucky Lake, swim jig or a spinner bait, a chatterbait, whatever you really wanted to throw around the yellow flowers and just crush them. You
ain't kidding. Yeah, if there was something moving through them flowers, they were on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They would get on it. That's a lot of fun. And this year we had that similar experience, but now that grass that was just in the water is now like 7 foot deep. So the fish, just typical Douglas fish. So as that water comes up, they go right with it.
Now, how high above summer pool are you right now?
We're not even quite to it. We're at like 989 or 990, and 993. There's one. There's a fish. Nice.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, it is.
Good fish. Well, they're fun out of them willows, aren't
they are. I know. And there's something about a willow tree. Bass just love them. You know what I mean? Like, you can catch them out of all kinds of different trees that get water around them, but a willow tree, bass love them things. Let's see if this one's going away here.
I remember one year we were at Grand and the water was up like that in the willows, and it was a blast.
230.
Good fish. Did you catch Bobby when we went to Grand and it was up in the willows?
When what was?
Grand.
I've never fished Grand in the willows, but I've heard it is stupid.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Hey, wasn't there that last tournament, that big tournament they had on Douglas? Didn't some guy win long lining and completely ruined that whole technique for all of us?
Yes, I remember that. I hate that guy.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That was terrible. Crazy, man. We got all new rules after that.
All new rules after that one.
Yeah, all new rules.
Good job there. Good job there, Starks Bin Laden.
Yeah. That's funny right there, now.
Guys,
anything in the Mafia world that goes wrong, you know whose fault it is, right?
Yep.
Okay. John, what's your biggest fishing technique weakness? Besides long lining.
it would have to be worming, like Texas rig worming, you know. And it just, I have a hard time. I mean, I had to fish in the tank for Berkeley at one of the the classic before last, and I couldn't even let my bait. I was working the bait in the tank, and my kids were yelling at me, and they're like, "Dad, you got to let it get to the bottom," because I was working it up above them, you know. So I guess that's that's definitely a issue I have, is letting it get to the bottom and working it slow. Man, there's good ones swimming everywhere. I can't seem to get them to hit anything.
Bobby,
You want to
what's
have
your
any
biggest?
live shiners?
I might actually. We went peacock fishing the other day. Hey, are any of them shiners still alive in there?
Oh, here we go.
Did you pump some fresh on them?
Just tip that swim jig with that shiner there.
Yeah.
How was the
Yeah.
peacock fishing?
So the peacock fishing was actually really good. But I came up on this dock and I pitched my shiner over to it, and I ended up catching one like a largemouth, like over 10. And I was like, gosh, it was, yeah. And I mean, that's the biggest I ever caught down there, largemouth. But
Bobby, have you
been
the peacock fishing yet?
I have not, and I'm not far from where they live. I just haven't gotten down there to do it.
I'm gonna have to get down there and go with John. I gotta go do that.
Yeah, that sounds really fun.
Yeah, they're this group we caught the other day. You couldn't even hold them up and get pictures with them. They were so mean.
How big are they, John? How big do they get?
You're the biggest you'll normally catch that we usually catch is about 4 pounds. I had one of my buddies hook one, and I tell you, it had to have been at least a 10, and he ended up losing it. But I mean, but that's about, your biggest is they're going to run about 2.5 to 3 pounds.
Pound for pound, do they fight a lot harder than a largemouth?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, a 4-pound peacock fights harder than a 10-pound largemouth. And the thing is, they're just quick.
You compare them to a smallmouth?
Yeah, so they gosh, I haven't, the smallmouth I've caught have been actually deeper, but those big peacocks in the shallow water, there's no catching up to them on your reel or anything. Like, you can't catch up to them; they're so fast.
Wow.
But I don't know. I mean, you can hold smallmouth. I'm telling you, I'm not lying. The ones we had the other day, we couldn't even hold them up and get a picture with them because they just kept would shake, and I thought they were going to like die. No, yeah.
David, you need to put some of them in Grand.
Yeah. I tell you, I went peacock bass fishing, and we went to Venezuela and caught them. Wow. Unbelievable experience. Like John's saying, like, you pound for pound, you could put a 4-pound peacock and tie it to any smallmouth, spotted bass, largemouth combined. He drowned all of them.
Wow.
You got to see it to believe it.
Did you catch them all on top, David, on a big chopper?
We did. We caught them on. They'll bite a lot of stuff. Like, we caught some on jigs, and but the topwater is their favorite way, and it is by far the most fun way to catch them. But
flipping a jig for peacock bass sounds pretty fun.
Yeah.
It is.
Sign me up.
But you don't really get the bite. Like, all of a sudden, it's like somebody's trying to steal your rod out of your hands, is the way it goes. It's like kind of similar to a lot of saltwater fish where, you don't really set the hook. Yes, they are gone with it instantly. But there wasn't a lot of other lures you could put in the water because the piranhas would eat it off. If you put, like, if you tied a big, if you put like you throw like a 10-inch plastic worm around the bushes and stuff, and before it hit the bottom, they had cut all the worm off of it all the way up to the hook. Like,
wow.
And even your jigs, like the hair jigs we were using, they would just cut all the hair off till it got to the hook. They attack everything. Really weird. But yeah, the
how
peacock,
big were they there?
So we weren't in so we were in Venezuela. So we caught, I believe there was 3 different varieties of them, and we caught all 3. But the biggest one on the trip was one I caught was a little over 13 pounds.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it's a
And
hammer.
yeah, I mean, to see but we caught a lot of 8 and 10 pounders, and to see a 10-pound peacock hit a wood chopper is something that you will never forget. I mean, it is insane.
So how was that trip?
Wow.
Was it just basically in the jungle out on a
Yes,
canoe kind of
very
deal, or
dumb.
was it?
No, so what it was this was 2003. It was Citgo was a sponsor of the Classic, and so they took the top 4 guys from the Classic down to. We flew down to Venezuela, so we flew into Caracas. From Miami to Caracas, we landed there. The next morning we get up, we get on a twin engine plane, which then flies us over into the country. We then get in a caravan of Toyota Land Cruisers, and we proceed to go. We end up on the Sunaruco River, which borders Colombia and Venezuela. And we're at these guys who was, oh God, I hit the top of my machine. These guys who was the president of Citgo, his own private lodge, fishing lodge. And so him being the president of Citgo, he had the security detail that we had with us consisted of the National Guardsmen. So we had about 40, maybe 50 heavily armed troops with us, and all carrying machine guns. None of them spoke English. It was an adventure, I'll just tell you. So we were in our little aluminum boats. Be 2 of us in a boat, and we'd have one of the guys that was driving a boat kind of taking us around, and he knew where all the little ins and outs were, where the fish were. And they had another boat, which was basically a big steel, looks like an open boat with 50 caliber machine gun on each side of it, running up and down the river in case to protect those guys and us from anybody getting kidnapped. So it was an adventure, not only in the fishing, but as far as everything else was. Trip I'll never forget.
Wow.
Yeah. So it wasn't like a pay for trip. It was a trip that they had came up with, and it was pretty amazing.
Did they shoot anybody?
Not that I was aware of, but I have many times wondered what happened to the different people that were on that trip.
What you got there, Bobby?
I'm telling you.
We're weighing one. This is a Douglas bass. This is a Douglas bass for Walker. I'm trying to get to that 1-2, Walker.
That's a nice one.
1-2.
You're to reel in when they're that size.
Yeah. I didn't have to reel. I set the hook and it was there.
Well, David and Bobby, that's 4 each. Bobby, I don't have to tell you they need to catch up in weight there.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Bobby's wishing he'd weighed that.
Yeah, I let
Fletcher.
that first one go. That would have been about 1.8 pounds if that one weighed.
Jeremy, is it cold in West Virginia?
It is today. It's 51 right now.
Yeah, I heard y'all had a little blast coming.
Yeah, we had some really nice weather all week, and then this rain and cold weather's working its way east. How is it there?
No, it's probably 65. It was. We had a lot of storms last night. Most of the night. Big round this morning, but sun's popped out. It's going to be a pretty day here. It's been Chamber of Commerce weather here this week in Arkansas. It's been 75 and just, not a cloud in the sky and beautiful.
I was out chasing land carp this morning.
Did you capture one?
They did not want to gobble.
Yeah, too cold.
Land carp.
Yeah. You know a better way to describe them, David?
I'm dying to hear this.
I thought everybody called them thunder chickens.
Land carp.
That's what we call geese. We call snow geese sky carp when we're duck hunting. A lot of sky carp in Arkansas.
Boy, you ain't kidding. That's unreal. You see all them fields?
Millions and millions and millions of them.
Unbelievable.
How are they?
Like that?
Pretty good to eat.
No, they're horrible.
Are they?
You might as well just take off your boot and cook it.
That's right. Why there's millions and millions of them.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's why we have a conservation system in March, and you don't have to plug your shotgun, and so you see guys with literally 8-shot, 9-shot extensions, and you can use electronic collars, no limits, and those guys that hunt them, they get on them. They'll kill 200-300 in the morning.
Wow.
And then you got
sounds like hog hunting.
Yeah, and then you got 200 or 300 sky carp that you have no idea what to do with. Everybody standing around the circle, look at each other, going,
make jerky.
Yeah, that's what a lot of guys do, is make jerky out of them.
Yeah, we have proven in America that if it tastes good, it don't stick around a long time.
That's right. Yeah, especially now.
Yeah. You think about it. Your pigeon must have been a tasty deal.
That's interesting.
Bobby, have you been?
That happens quite often, no matter where I go. But that's why I sampled this. I sampled this yesterday, and it went pretty smooth. So I thought I would try it again. Because there's a lot of them that hate fishermen.
Especially in Louisiana
and Texas. Texas has their share of irate dock owners.
I tell you, the worst I saw was on Kentucky Lake, believe it or not.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, the guy was going AWOL on me. It was in a elite tournament, and he came running down the end of the dock and was yelling, "You got to get out of here!" And I told him I ain't moving, and he said, "Well, I'm calling the law. I'm the manager, the whole 9 yards." Well, I called the tournament director, and he goes, "Nope, you're allowed to fish there." And that guy walked right down, and if I didn't make the perfect cast about a foot where he was standing and caught a 5-pounder, I thought he was going to jump in my boat and release that fish. He followed me all around that whole entire dock, was just adamant about me being there. But the fish was good. The fishing didn't seem to mind. They bit, but golly, that was a
Bobby, I believe I had just fished that dock. I believe I had just fished that dock right in front of you, but I didn't make a perfect cast, and that was he heard my jig hit his pontoon.
Yeah, I talked to they had a high school event there this year, and I talked to a kid that had fished that same area, and he said the same thing. The guy just come out there, I guess he waits for that moment to do that.
Nice guy, huh?
Yeah, I think that's what he lives for.
The highlight of his day. That wouldn't have been the derby that you won up there throwing a swim bait, was it?
That wasn't that one. It was a couple of times after that. I was on. Everybody was complaining there was no shad in the lake. All the shad are gone, and I had found an area that if your bait touched the water, you'd have 1,000 shad under it, and
wow,
it was pretty cool. And I just killed him. I didn't win it. I forget who ended up winning that event, but I was in the top 10. Hey, Don. So this is the owner of Beef O'Brady's here, down here in Lakeland. You guys open, Don? 25% capacity at Beef O'Brady's. But if you want some good chicken wings, guys, Beef O'Brady's is the place. If you want just a good time, period, go to Beef O'Brady's. Oh, Don, I missed one under your dock there. A swing and a miss.
Yeah, he's thinking about chicken wings.
Yeah. Well, when's the last time you've been out, Dave, and ate some? You know what I mean?
I would love to go out to eat.
I want a fried bologna sandwich, Cox. What do you think?
Man, I used to eat bologna as a kid all the time, and when I started feeding that fish bologna the other day, I was like, I'm gonna try these. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don, I like your dock. I caught one on it yesterday. This one needs another chicken wing, though, man. He's a little skinny on me. Walker, I think I got a 2-pounder.
I'm sure. I don't doubt it one bit.
It's not much bigger than 2, but you know, you guys should be excited. I have my own scale. That probably would do it. Yep, that is a 2 even.
Nice.
So, nice fish.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty. Creature hog strikes.
Bobby, do you remember when they were pretty heavily involved with the Elite Series with Preston Clark?
Hey, everybody. Beef O'Brady's is open. They're 25% capacity, but to go is super easy to get. I'm looking at the Manning Self right here. So everybody get down to Beef O'Brady's and support Don Bosco. He does a lot for our community. He helps with my kids' event. He was runner-up in Mr. Central Florida this year, so we were glad to be there and witness that. By $24, he missed the cut. There's his. Yeah, he was dressed up like Elvis. He did an awesome dance. That was pretty cool. That was a good time to be there.
Could he give us a little on camera, Bobby? A little Elvis?
Can you do a little Elvis on camera, Don, if I spin the boat around? Okay, guys, watch it. Oh, my wife's got you there. Watch this. Let me get a little closer, Don.
This may be a first.
Did you guys hear this? Hang on, Don. Let me get a little closer.
Bob?
I'm lost. Here we go.
Ready?
All right, can you see him, guys?
Yeah.
Can y'all see him?
Can see him.
Hello? Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead, Don.
Wise men say, oh,
Falling in love with Bobby Lane. That's great.
Pretty awesome.
Bobby, you automatically win if you'll do the same thing.
Bobby's still trying to get something to eat.
They're all at school. Yeah, at home. School at home.
I think Bobby's tournament just went off the rails.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're getting something done. Yeah.
John, are you in a gar hole or what?
Oh
Man, I'm telling you, we might mark this place off the list.
Like
I'm
your
just waiting on.
2 is in jeopardy today.
I know it.
All right, guys, we're going to move you down a little bit.
You're gonna stick
Bye, good to see you guys. Good morning.
General on there, Don. Oh, absolutely. I love it.
It is beautiful.
Keep on fishing. You know it. Keep on fishing. You have to come back every time you come here. Every time I come by there, I catch one. I love it. Back to my AirPods.
Can you hear him?
Not yet.
Oh, I don't.
Are you pitching plastic, David, or are you throwing jig?
No, I'm still throwing a jig. I keep thinking I need to switch that up, but I don't know. It's just so dark today, and I know these fish are just kind of getting set up. I don't think they've been there, so.
Do you ever
And the
see
jig,
it? Do you
Go
ever
ahead.
see it where when they're on those willows like that? I mean, typically we all fish it with a vertical presentation, but do you ever see a time
There we
where you
go.
can notice a marked difference with a horizontal presentation, moving a bait through there instead of just pitching it?
well, actually today has been sort of that way. I've flipped a lot, but I've been getting more bites. I've been getting more bites from the chatterbait, reeling it through that same area. So, but some of these bushes here are just so thick, I can't really. I don't feel like I'm doing it justice.
Did you guys
Somebody
catch the
pounding on something?
Yeah, I got they're building a dock behind me. How about that Elvis show? Was that awesome or what?
That was pretty awesome.
I mean, when will that ever happen again? Never.
I mean, who'd have thunk it?
Who'd have thunk it?
But Bobby, we said we would just, everybody would concede to you if you would do the same thing.
Yeah. I'll take my loss.
Come on, Bobby, give us a little.
It's a little early in the day for me to be singing, guys. You wait till the sun goes down a little bit, I might be able to help you out.
We're not quite there yet.
Just
Jim.
stick with the fish, Bobby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What is the score? Is Cox on the board yet?
No, I haven't. I've caught 2 little tiny ones.
All he's doing is
Walker.
marking beds right now. He is marking beds right now.
Waiting for the
I
sun
gave
to
up
get
on
right.
them.
John's setting himself up for a big comeback.
Oh yeah. He's finding about 5 of them one casters.
Yeah.
He's fishing bridge pilings, if you can believe it or not.
Wow.
That's how bad the struggle is.
The struggle is real, yes.
Yeah.
That is.
He forgot and thought he was on Gunnersville.
Yes, the one place in the world where them bridge pilings are.
Yeah.
You better not laugh at them.
Yeah, that's the only place.
Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
God, they love them there. I hate that. That's the thing I hate about Gunnersville the most.
I'm with you. I'm the same
Me
way.
too.
I can't stand that.
Yep. You know you're fishing for something. You're not fishing for the win if the bridges are on. That's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and how much traffic you think it's got? That stretch Hank one on's got since the Classic, right?
Probably about 10% more than it always had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine what that place is like? You know, it always got beat up anyway, but with COVID, nobody working. It's probably insane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lake ever goes down right there, you'll be able to open a tackle store. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
You couldn't find a parking spot there on a Wednesday before this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the few places I've ever fished that legit. I mean, even when we would be there in practice, I remember a couple of years where if you didn't get to the ramp within, half hour of daylight, you didn't find a place to park.
Yep, you weren't getting to the ramp. That's right. God, I can't get any bites here. This is driving me crazy. I don't know where they're at. I can't locate them.
Man, you got to believe when there's flooded willow that there's a bass on every one of them.
There's good possibility there is. I think maybe just as cold, but I don't know. I mean, as you can see, my wind has quit, which is awesome. That front's gotten a little closer. I mean, you can feel it. Like the air is a lot more humid than it was, and my buzzbait's starting to leaving bubble trail, and I mean, it is feeling fishy, but
it looks fishy. Man, that's a good looking spot.
So this will be kind of interesting to ask somebody else's perspective on what you're doing. John, let me give you the visual.
All right.
David is in some of the best looking willow water and calm and overcast. You can't see it right now, you can hear it, but we probably let me guess, you'd be throwing a wacky rig Cinco on a spinning rod.
Probably. That or a swim jig, maybe.
It's a little too deep for a swim jig, probably.
Is it?
Yeah. These shallow bushes here are only in about 1.5 foot of water, which is, I mean, it's ideal.
Yeah.
But then the willow trees are in like 3 to 4. Some are in 5. So the scenario is this. That's why I wanted to come up here, because I'm like, this has got to be going on.
Yeah.
But
I think if I was in there, Jeremy, I would be throwing a popping frog around.
I knew you were going to say that, Bobby. 100% knew you were going to say popping frog.
That's right. That's
Tops
right.
would be throwing a wacky rig Cinco. He'd be skipping it with the spinning rod.
Yeah.
And Bobby'd have a popping frog around.
When in doubt, you got to go fish your strengths, man.
Yep.
Yeah. That place, that wall there that John's fishing, that looks like a Texas rig worm dip to me all the way.
Now tell me, if I don't catch one on here, there's not any fish in this lake.
Do you have a worm on, John? Did I hear that?
I mean, I got a wacky rig on, but.
Oh, okay. Not a Texas rig.
He's got one of them worms, Bobby, that doesn't need to hit the bottom.
Right, that's what I was going to ask. Is it hitting the bottom?
Yeah. No.
But David, if I was fishing there and I pulled in a pocket and saw what you're looking at, that was part of my problem. I'd turn around and went and look for deeper water.
Oh yeah, Jeremy break out in the eyes right
there. Yeah. Oh, I can relate. But yeah, this is just, like I said, the lake is slowly rising right now too. We haven't had a lot of rain, but we still got good flow coming in, so they're not generating near what they were, but it's kind of within the parameters. Oh, there was a bite. It's kind of within its parameters, so it's just a slow rise right now, which really leads me to believe I know these fish are wanting to get up in here. It's what they like.
When you're throwing it, we talked a good bit, I think the week before last, about your choice and what you like to do with the chatterbait and how you fish it. But a chatterbait is one of the better baits for me to skip. It skips really well where, places you may want to put a spinnerbait, you can really skip that chatterbait. But it doesn't seem to skip as well when you have a paddle tail on the back of it. For me, I like to put a fluke or something similar when I'm skipping it. But what about you? What do you like to throw in there when you are skipping a chatterbait in a tight cover and under those limbs and that kind of deal?
Yeah, right now what I got tied on here
Waves blowing it.
This is a 1/2 ounce chatterbait, and I've got one of the Z-Man, the Razor Shad trailers on there. So It is that straight tail,
choppy,
but it does a really good job of, like you said, skipping, and so I'm able to slide this thing all the way up and around these bushes here, and not get hung up in them, which is, I think that's why most people don't like to fish really heavy cover, because you get stuck a few times, you get burned, you quit throwing in there. But the chatterbait does a good job of getting back in there. Skipping a spinnerbait is kind of out of the question, but it would definitely work, but you can't really make it slide through there like you can with the chatterbait.
Or you can skip a popping frog.
Or you can.
There it goes.
Bobby can sure throw his popping frog.
I had to throw that in there before you all got too far out.
But one thing I noticed,
don't blame you one bit. But the thing that's puzzling me, I think it's just because it's been cold a bunch here, that they're just not reacting on top. Like, as slick as it is right now, you don't see a fish strike anywhere. You don't really see a shad like running from one. It's very quiet in that aspect. And I've thrown my buzzbait through some of this flooded grass and around this stuff enough to at least get a reaction, and I have had zero reaction on that top. So I just don't think they just want to hit on that top water. I'm sure it's just cold. I think if the same conditions with about another 10 degrees to it, it'd be a different scenario.
I heard you say the buzzbait's leaving the bubble trail, so you know that it's the right conditions.
Right. Yeah. It just really started doing that here. I mean, like I said, once our wind has quit, it was a cold kind of a north wind, and that stopped. And the ceiling's getting lower on them clouds. They're a lot lower than what they were. You can feel that the humidity's going up and the pressure's dropping, but I'm still not seeing any activity at all. But they're around here somewhere. And you know how them fish can be, man. The switch will flip, and all of a sudden it goes from can't figure it out to all of a sudden it's easy.
Well, guys, we're about an hour and a half into this tournament.
John Cox says, "Ring way you can foul hook a drum."
Right now, I don't even know if there's any drum in here. I got Lily and Savannah been back there dragging shiners behind me, and they haven't caught anything. So I'm kind of worried.
Really are in a gar hole.
Yeah. There might not be any fish in here.
David, getting back to that chatterbait, I noticed you said you were throwing the 1/2 ounce. Do you find that when I'm skipping the 1/2 ounce, I like that bait because I can pitch it and still skip it a lot easier than I can the 3/8 when I'm just pitching and wanting to skip up under stuff. Do you see
a heavier bait on your jig or your chatterbait, or it gives you more control. It's easier to cast them where you want them to go. And so that's why I like the little bit heavier weight. So I agree with that I like that 1/2 ounce. It does allow me to get the bait right where I want it to. Because I'm not needing to throw it really far, but I'm also not trying to get it real deep. But I do want to place it where I want it to go, and that a heavier weight allows me to do that.
And you typically throw a 7-foot rod when you're throwing a chatterbait?
I do. I use this is a G Loomis. It's a GLX. So it's a graphite rod, and I use it's the JWR, which is a jig and worm rod. So it's pretty stiff. I use it in a 4-power and even a 5-power because I like that. I sort of treat a chatterbait a lot like if it's a swim jig, because if you look. For me, most of the time, I can tell by what rod I'm going to use just by looking at the hook that's on the lure. If the lure's got a big, heavy gauge hook, I'm going to use a heavier rod.
With less, and plus with the line that we have today and technology, you don't have to have the rod that you used to. With this low stretch fluorocarbon or even braid, you don't have to have as much rod as the bone.
Yeah, the fluorocarbon has really changed fishing as far as I'm concerned. As far as like, I use it always. Like, I mean, there's braid that I use some for, when we're like at top waters and swim jigs and flipping down there in Florida. Other than that, it's fluorocarbon, and it's so much better now. Sunline's fluorocarbon to me. I look back on the fluorocarbons I used when they first came out, and I'm like, man, I don't know. I even tried some mono this past spring here, and I'm like, I don't even know how I used it. I couldn't believe the difference in it. It's so stretchy. Like, I couldn't feel what I was doing at all. I really like fluorocarbon. God, this looks good around here. All right. We're going to have to flip one up, Jeremy. Uh-oh.
Oh, got a finner. Watch out. He's a finner. He's a finner.
Bobby's getting attacked.
I have had 3 bites on 3 casts. They're not big. That's better than my small one, a 1.4. But man, they're killing it right here. I don't know why. There ain't nothing here. Ooh, that one took a chunk out of my palm.
Well, when it comes to handling fish, there's nothing quite like them northern smallmouths when you have to handle those all day.
Oh man, is that a miserable deal or what? Especially not.
God. I have so many fins broke off my hands.
Yeah, ever since they took the net away.
Jerry, there's like 9 yellow flowers right over here.
Yep, 9. There's probably a bass on each of them.
There's gonna be. That's where every fish is gonna be. No question.
I cut out there a minute, David, when we were talking about, we were talking about the rod you use and with the chatterbait. And I hate to keep going back to that, but it is such a popular bait now and has been for quite a few years. And you're known as one of the guys that throw it. But how do you store it? Like, I know you use all the Bass Mafia product, but how do you store that one?
Oh, the by far the best way to keep your chatterbaits is in a blade coffin. That thing works so good. It's ideal for it. You know, those little pouches. And so, like, that's how I'll show you right here. So, like, right here, this coffin, this is where I keep my chatterbaits in, right here. And so you keep them in there, and then I write right here on the little headliner there, I write 3/8 or halves, 3/4, whatever I want. And I'll keep one or two of them in each one of those little pouches. I mean, that's by far the best way to keep your chatterbaits. That right there. I love that for that. You know, because the chatterbait's not very big. You know, keeping a spinnerbait in those boxes, you can't put as many. But the chatterbait, you can put 3 or 4 of them in every one of those.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll use mine. I like to put swim jigs, and you can store 100 swim jigs in that box if you want to load it up.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt about it. But yeah, those boxes did a great job on that, and yeah, that's by far that is my favorite setup for the chatterbaits, because I tried a bunch of different ways. You know, I had boxes before, just their traditional boxes, where I have them just kind of laying in there. But it seemed like they always would get out of their spots and get mixed over and together, or you'd have it open and you get them wet. And so, but that system right there works the best for sure.
Bobby, you're the frog guy. How do you store your frogs?
I store my frogs. I store them in the. Let me put my bait back real quick. I store them in. What's the?
Regular 3700 coffin.
The 3700 coffin is what I put my frogs in. And the problem I was having is every year I'd have to replace my frogs because I'd carry them in a different box, and I'd go to get the frog I want. The hooks would be rusted. It was a joke, man. I was like, golly, I'm paying $9 a piece for these frogs, and I'm having to replace them every year. And now I got them in that 3700 coffin, and I'm not kidding you. I've had them in there for 3 years and have the exact same frogs I've had in there for 3 years. I mean, you can run them boxes over with a truck and can't hurt them. You can put a tornado across them and they're not going to get wet. So it's a win-win for me, and keeps them super organized. I just take all the little red tabs out and just lay all my frogs in that 3700 coffin, and from little ones to big ones to popping frogs, you name it. And it's really made it easier for me to be more efficient. Trust me, I don't have a problem making a mess really quick, and it's a blessing to have the Bass Mafia money bags and all.
When we started Bass Mafia, determined to build the best tackle box. Bart, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he the first pro to ever show Bass Mafia?
So here's a great story, and of course, you know, when you're building, when you're prototyping something, you know, there's several revisions before you get it right. And so one of our original coffins, Bobby had one of our original coffins, and it was a great idea to make every divider in the box removable. The ones that go horizontal, the ones that go vertical, the other way, north, south. In theory, that was a great idea. But Bobby, I'll never forget this. Bobby showed up and fished with Zona on the Zona show, and Bobby had all of his weights in a 3700 all removable coffin. And when he opened that up on TV, it looked like a grenade had exploded in that box. The dividers were blown out. And I remember Zona going, and that's how elite angler Bobby Lane rolls. and Bobby there got him awake. It was good to go. It didn't bother him one hour.
Yeah, so that terminal coffin has made it a lot easier.
Yeah, we fixed that, thank goodness.
Oh,
Well,
finally
that
caught
whole
one.
theory worked as long as you didn't remove any dividers. But when you removed one, it just broke the whole chain.
That's the way I work. I mean, if you're going to do it, go all in. All right, Walker. We got a 2-4.
Oh, Bobby is catching.
What do you think Cox would do for a 2-4 right now? Have we ever had to say that? Have we ever had to say that, Walker?
No.
The first time ever.
We've not had a zero yet in a month, in a little over a month, and nobody's zeroed.
Yeah, I just caught one about a pound and a half, but it's not looking good in here, guys.
Have you switched ponds?
Did I what?
Did you switch ponds? It looks totally different.
I went under the bridge and there's like some mats over here. I wish I knew somewhere else to go a little closer, but there's got to be some in here. Maybe we haven't got to the part of the lake that they're in yet.
Yes, sir. Might be getting just my first kickoff here. I'm running into a dock guy. Good morning. How are you guys? Yeah. And you wonder why I get in trouble fishing around docks. I'm plowing this guy's tube over with the side of my boat.
Sure, this would go sideways, honestly, right?
Yeah. He's just coming down there to fix all the stuff you're about to do to his dock.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got a couple. 2.5 is the biggest, but it's fun. It's enjoyable. I like that motor. You do too, don't you?
Guys, talking about boxes, I don't know, Bart. I don't think this beautiful new blue has been seen that much out there. Should I show everybody?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so have a look at this. Talk through this a little bit. So this is a beautiful new.
So we took our traditional red and black coffin and made a blue, and you may see us do that. Come out with some colors. We also made an olive colored 3600, kind of an OD green,
right there.
And there it is. And I think those blues are they're Jeremy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the tackle warehouse exclusive. And our website as well. And so, we just wanted to give our great customers some more color options. And I've seen several on social media where guys like their boxes to match their boat, or they use different color boxes to differentiate bait classes, So it's kind of like our buddy Justin Lucas does. He does it with color of labels in his boxes. So it's been an interesting journey to see how everybody stores their stuff, and so we get a lot of comments about, well, why do you have 3 different ways, or why do you promote 3 different ways to store terminal? Well, because not everybody's going to do. There's not a one system fits all for everybody. So everybody's going to store their stuff different. Just it's personal preference. It's boat layout. It's the type of boat you have. It's so we try to cover all the bases.
Well, you've made my life a lot easier, and helped me be a lot more organized. I can actually put my golf cart in my garage simply because I can color code. I can color code everything and keep everything where it needs to be. It has really been a awesome deal having Bass Mafia on my side. It's made my life a lot more complete. Yeah. Yeah. We've got a couple, yeah. Nothing big, but we're having fun. Here we go. Back.
Bobby, how many color frogs do you carry with you?
We could get my box out and open it up, but I would say probably I got about 15 different colors in there. And realistically, I really go about 4 colors, which are going to be the, a green, a black. If I got a shad spawn going on, of course, you got to keep a white one in there, and then, an off black, an off brown, something like that. It's weird. It's frogs are awesome, man. I just love throwing them, and the more I got, if I got a bunch of them, I feel like my day's complete, even if I'm not throwing it. They catch a lot of fish, but they catch a lot of big fish too. And it's a bait that a lot of guys throw, but if you can critique it, it's almost like flipping or throwing a chatterbait. If you can learn where to put that frog where other people don't, stuff like that, oh, you dog, it draws quite the strike, man. And it's just a fun bite. I mean, it's just awesome to watch one of them big old bass come up and blow up on that frog.
There's nothing better than topwater, you know it? Like, as far as entertainment, a topwater bite is a lot of fun.
It doesn't get much better, does it? Yeah.
No. Yeah, I can throw that topwater all day and not even get bit and still be perfectly fine.
Man. Missed another one.
Uh-oh. Bobby has got him a stretch there.
It's a whole lake. It seems to be the stretch. All you got to do is just fish.
That's not making me feel any better, Bobby.
Oh man! There you go.
Oh, I think we might have a 2-pounder. Oh, guys, I flipped into that point and left it there forever. And I think I was like,
John,
my
I think you're big on him.
You don't think he's a 2-pounder?
I think you're big on him.
I hope he's a 2-pounder.
I'm gonna say 114.
Oh man. Yeah, 111.
I was gonna say 112.
Hey, you big died him.
I did big on him. But I was trying to take into consideration John is such a big, intimidating figure that I thought that fish may have looked smaller than it was. Bobby, was that a bass or was that a log?
No, I've had 3 bites on this dock, and I've missed all. One of them slapped my chatterbait, and then I pitched a creature hog in there, and one swam off with it, and then I pitched to another post, and one swam off with it, but no good. And what happens is, like, there's logs and rocks down there, and I'm bending a 65-pound braid and a 7.6 heavy rod with Fantasista Premier. I hit them so hard that if you catch the rock or the log, that braid just shocks it, and it rolls the tip sometimes. These fusion hooks, man, since I've used them, I have definitely put more money in my pocket since I switched to fusion hooks.
Yeah, that's the same ones I'm using. The 3-aught fusion straight shank.
Bobby, you look pretty comfortable in that Langley gear.
I'm telling you, I love it. It's once again, I had 50 choices in my thing to choose from, and I said, well, today's a perfect day to wear slacks. That's easy. I got my Langley slacks, and then I got plenty of fit shirts that are good for summer, and this one is the first one I grabbed because it just don't do you wrong.
Well, one of the
comfortable.
things that I love about
I got that one. Oh.
Yep.
Got him. Got one of them. Got one of them back.
There you go. Nice.
That one needs to be eating some frogs too. You think I want to go 2 pound Starks? I doubt it. Zero here. All right. Go 0. Now it's adding weight. I'd love it to keep adding weight, but that ain't. There we go. 2-1.
Nice.
Yeah.
2-1. Nice.
2-1. That creature hog did it again, Cock.
Hello.
I'm telling you, I'm about down to 3 bags. I'm trying to hook them every way possible.
Yeah. How many pros have called you wanting to get some?
Oh yeah, everybody's wanting to get them. It's. I'm telling you, they are awesome for sure. I mean, that's even that last one I just had. I mean, I was just leaving it on the bottom and came over and smoked it.
I wish we could catch smallmouth on a big stick like that by just seeing them on the depth finder and pitching that down there.
Yeah, that would be super cool.
John, I think you need to, before the tournament season starts back up, you need to make a trip up north and we do a live on Lake Erie.
Oh man, that's what I need. I need a refresher. That's for sure.
You need a refresher?
Yeah. Go out there and yank on some. Always seemed to do a lot better in the tournaments after we would go a few months before.
You remember the first time you were drop shotting?
Yeah. And I remember, I just remember when we were, when you were showing me the whole setup and you were like, yeah, all you need is just gulp minnow or leech. And then, and I just remember seeing that, your setups. And I was just like, man, there ain't no way. Man, it was so addicting after I caught that first big smallmouth dropping down, seeing them on the graph, and you're like, drop it right there. It ruined me now. That's anytime we get to them smallmouth lakes, even if it's got awesome largemouth fishing, I find myself out there trying to drop down and catch them. It's like every time I go to Champlain, I never fish for largemouth. It's just way too much fun for them smallmouth.
We need to get Bart up there on a trip. He's not had a chance to fish any of that northern stuff.
Oh gosh. Oh, really?
There's one. I'm good. I might just set camp on this dock right here.
Is that where the feeder is?
No, there's nothing. Laying sod in the yard. What's the small one, Jonathan? Do you have a tab on that?
I do. Small one is 102.
All right, 111.
Another 111.
111. Crazy.
Bobby, it sounds like you're fishing the Shaky Head Trail of America spot there.
I'm telling you, this is fun though, man. I love catching bass. This is awesome. We didn't catch this many yesterday when we were out here. We caught a few bigger ones, but this is fun. I think that front has definitely put a ding in some things, but they're still biting really good.
Have you skipped a frog under that dock yet?
I tried a frog yesterday and I couldn't make it happen, so I moved on. Looks like the homeowner's heading this way. I better get my ass in gear.
What is your go-to color frog, Bobby? You have one frog from now till the end of time. What color do you go with?
Howdy, sir. I am catching a couple. Yes, sir. You got a sweet spot there under your dock. Yeah, I won't tell anybody, I promise.
Although it's live.
Christmas tree?
Yeah.
I did. I knew there was something under there, and I hit it with my chatterbait, and I flipped a preacher hog under there and caught 3 or 4 of them. Right under the dock. Well, isn't that smart? I wish I knew. My favorite frog is I like that canary black, man. That black with the yellow stripes on it. I've just caught so many. Got a little red throat on it. I've caught so many nice fish on that frog. It's just ridiculous.
My prediction is Bobby's going to get in trouble with a dock owner before the day's over.
Yeah, that's why I'm shading away a little bit on the. I'm heading out to deeper water. I'm in 3 foot now.
Don, I think the cold front killed all the fish in that place.
Boy, I'm kind of with you on that one. I don't know it's just awful.
I can hear them. I can hear them digging down in the mud from here, burying their little head.
Yeah, they're dragging shiners behind me, and they haven't even got one.
That's a bad sign.
Yeah, that ain't good at all.
Walker, does that surprise you at all that Cox has got 2 other people in the boat dragging shiners?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, when he was asking about are the shiners still alive, I actually thought he was kidding. Nope. He was actually asking if the shiners were alive.
John, have you had any updates from the taxidermist from Walter? On Walter.
So he ended up eating them.
Oh.
So I know. So so I hope he doesn't die, but I haven't heard from him since then, and I don't know. I think it's going to take. He said at least 3 months, which I had no idea. I mean, there must be a lot of steps involved. I'm surprised it takes so long, but I guess he's probably got a ton of other stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to getting that thing. Hopefully it comes out good.
Do you have a predetermined place you're going to hang Walter?
I don't know. I was wanting to just hang him out there on the back porch, but I don't know if how it would hold up in the weather, So we might put him right in the living room, somewhere in the living room. Let's have to do it when Melissa's not home.
Just screw it to the wall so it's not easy to get off, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
All right, I'm a little lost. Who the hell is Walker there? Or was?
Walter. Walter was the
Walter.
the fish I tried to save.
Oh, okay, okay.
He didn't make it. He had a huge gash in him, and man, I thought he was going to come back, and he was doing good, and man, I bought all this nice stuff for him because I'm like, man, we're gonna have to keep him for a while, and then he died.
Bobby, you see Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, John did that with gas.
What'd it weigh, John?
It was 10-15 with the chunk missing.
Wow.
So it was probably like an 11 something. It was 29 inches long. It was a big one.
If he'd have held out till today, I know we'd have got a weight on him.
Yeah, we would have got him today.
Yeah.
Guys, we got about a little less than an hour left.
Yeah, I think I've got away from the fish. I'm going further back, and I'm not getting any bites now. I need my dang popping frog is what I need.
Yep.
Yeah, you would love this up where I'm at, Bobby, right now. I mean, there's a mile and a half of popping frog water.
I was at a cup event last year in Muskogee, and you could go for miles back it was 10 foot high, and you could go for miles back in that stuff. And I'm with you though, Walker. I've fished where the fish should be. I never caught anything, and it's like they stayed out on the old bank line. It was so weird to be back where they live and you can see bait, but you couldn't catch a bass. They wouldn't commit to going back there.
Yeah, it is funny how many times fish do that. I remember the last time we did this, we'd all catch one almost at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, John, I guess you saw the schedule, the elite schedule. Where does that leave you in the FLW schedule?
So right now it's looking like I'm going to get to go to Eufaula for the elite one. Then I'll go to Chick for the FLW. And then I got to decide whether to go to Champlain or La Crosse. Which I mean, I think some things could, there might even, the way things are going, some of that might not even be final. So
yeah,
I'm going to hope maybe something will, maybe New York will hold us off. The elites, we got three.
Make a quick run.
We got 3 in a row in New York, and then we got all of September off. So I mean, we have that whole month of September. So hopefully, hopefully there'll be a little change up. But right now, I think I'd only miss one. So that's good. But we'll see when it gets closer. See what happens. See if anything changes. And I mean, you never know. It might all just work out last minute. I don't know. At least I'm still hoping it does.
David, does MLF start back next month?
Next month. That's the plan. And I think it's all in pencil.
Yeah. I guess it'll all depend on whether you can get a tournament permit, right? I guess that's what's been holding some things up.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, plus too, we haven't tried to have one yet, so we don't. I mean, you don't really know what obstacles are there to try.
Yeah.
Because there's probably some stuff that you didn't even think about that may affect it too.
Are you, David? Are you going to come over and fish the remaining FLWs?
Yeah, if I can fish them, I'm fishing. That's what I do. I like to fish.
Right.
And
that'll
be any tournaments I can get in, I'll fish them. Heck, we fished a local deal down here Saturday. So I mean, heck yeah.
Yeah.
If I can fish, I'm fishing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, John, I'm thinking when you go to the tournament meetings, just to be safe, you can wear a money bag over your head.
I didn't even think of doing that.
And
Man,
turn it, you can turn it to the non-printed side. Just don't let anybody tape it, right? You'll be good.
Oh, my gosh. That's more. Man, there's been some crazy masks people have been wearing.
I have seen some pretty creative masks, yeah.
Yeah.
You ain't kidding.
Yeah, I think you should go to the meeting with a money bag on your head, John. That would be excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might as well, because at least that would be the only mask that actually worked.
Exactly.
Right.
A Lake Norman bass there.
Bobby, have you captured another one?
I did. It was a little Lake Norman bass. So found one.
Bobby's still showing off.
Well, I ran to the other side of the lake. There's a bunch of sticks over here and 4 foot of water. I said, well, I'm kind of tired of flipping docks. I'll go flip some sticks.
Bobby, you got 9 pounds of fish.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, he's doing something right, ain't he?
Yeah. I'm telling you, there's nothing happening here where I'm at.
David, you got 7 and change.
Oh, what a race.
I'm telling you.
Here's the next one. This is the one I want to hear. Let's hear it.
John, you might be better off to pull your boat out and make a
Try to race back to the house.
We'll see if you can revive Walter.
John, I hate to ask you this, but I gotta inquire about your Slurpee addiction. Is it? I didn't make you fall off the wagon last week, did I?
No, I've been pretty good. I haven't had any, and man, but it's tough walking by that machine every day. But I don't know. I kind of started drinking these. It's called Bang. Have you heard of them?
Oh
Yeah.
That's not good either, John.
Yeah, those aren't good, but they're so good.
Do you have a favorite flavor?
I've only tried 2 of them so far. I've been on the grape and the sour apple.
You know, you and Jason Quinn probably consumed less water per per day than any other pro anglers on the planet.
Jason Quinn would start the morning off with 2 mean beans every morning.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Followed closely by a 2-liter of Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And chased with a Red Bull, about 4 of them.
They're all clones.
What do you got there, Bobby?
111.
That's 3 111s.
I like those numbers, though. Maybe when the things start back up, we can keep those numbers going that way. 111. What's the small one, Jonathan? 111 probably, eh?
102 and 110.
Oh, I mean, so what? I mean, if we're keeping
He's
them all.
cold.
Starting to rain.
I saw a cloud a minute ago here.
Yeah, I got nothing where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, nothing.
David, it's not supposed to be that tough in May.
Tell me about it. I don't know what the deal is. I'm probably just, hey, sometimes it's the Indian, not the arrow. You know what I mean?
Nope. Lost them.
It started off pretty good, but I think I just got away from them. I went way back through there. So I went, but I got nothing for it.
What's it been taking? Well, let me rephrase that because there's been no tournaments this year, but prior years in May, pre-spawn, what's it take to win down there in a one-day derby?
On Douglas, it always, I mean, there's times you might win one with 17 or 18, but normally you got to have 20 something. There was a local one here 3 weeks ago when they were biting on a shad spawn so good. It took 26 to win that one.
Wow.
They had big fish too. It was a 6 something. There's not a lot of big fish in this lake, but there is a lot of 2-3 pound fish in this lake. Today I can't find any of them.
Today you can't what?
Today I can't find any of them, and I know there's a million of them in here.
Are you mid-lake towards the dam? What section of the lake?
No, I'm up the river, up in the river part. This is where there's the endless supply of shallow cover without having to run and gun. And typically when this stuff first starts to flood, it can be really good. But like I said, I think I'm the victim of just a little bit cold for what I'm doing. But I get in the right little spot. We'll catch it. We'll catch some.
What do you think the chances of this one weighing 111 are?
Pretty good.
That's a 110.
That's
110.
111.
John, I think there's one living at the bottom of that street sign stoplight.
Gosh, I hope so.
I had a buddy text me, wants to know what you guys' opinion on is the greatest square bill crankbait ever made.
Let Walker answer that. Walker is the square bill machine.
Bagley. The Bagley one, because that's what everything is kind of judged against.
Yeah.
I mean, Lucky Craft did a great job with that. Rick Clun, the 1.5, as far as plastic baits go. And, and I've had a lot of local baits that a buddy of mine make and that are really good and all, but to be honest with you, the consistency and just how good that Bagley square bill is, that's the one to beat.
Yeah, and you get some of them wobbles so wide to turn around and look at you, but that's the great thing about those Bagleys is how just reactive that balsa really was over plastic.
Yeah, the buoyancy is just something that plastic can't match that. How quick that bait backs up, and that's what's cool about the square bill.
I remember a time when John Cox was addicted to what was that the DT4?
Oh yeah, the DT4. Yeah, that was a good little crank thing. Yeah,
that was one of those phases when you actually threw a crankbait.
Yeah. I think I might have still been going as a co-angler in some of those.
I think he's getting back into that.
Yeah.
No, that one's going to be bigger than 111.
That's a nice fish.
It's.
Uh-oh.
I think it's going to be 2, Walker. I think it's going to be 2.
Bobby's running off of this thing.
The bite is slowed down. The bite is slowed down.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
You should be here.
Yeah, I know.
114.
114.
Yeah, it's crazy how many fish are here.
That was brutal.
Wow.
Yeah, it just sounds awful.
But,
sounds like you need to go get him a pack of bologna.
Yeah. You what? You need your purse? No worries. This is fun. Might have to try to get Bobby Jr. out here next week. He would eat this up. I think they're done. When are they done? When are the kids done with school?
I don't know.
I don't think it's next week.
I don't know.
It's all overrated, Bobby. Just take him fishing.
Yeah.
It'd be better than the school.
Well, I promise you, he's not doing school right now. Mom and Dad are gone. The 16-year-olds watch him. I mean, come on.
Well, next week is our big father-son, father-daughter tourney. So that's next Friday could be the day.
Oh, that sounds like a good one.
I know for a fact that that Bo's going to be out.
I don't know if Bo counts as a kid.
Yeah, we may have to handicap him.
I was going to say, Bo was taking Steven.
Yeah, Bo's been a hammer since he was 12, right? I mean, he's a
yeah. He's taking Steven fishing. Is how that's going to go.
It's been fun watching Bo grow up. How his progression as to see a young guy like that. I know he's ready for some opens to start back. He's ready to go.
Just to make everybody feel better, I'm literally looking at snow falling.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
It's bad. It's really bad.
Well, I went outside, and I have a pair of Langley shorts and a shirt like Bobby's on, and the wind has picked up to about 25. It's clouded up. It looks about like where David is, and if I go back out, it's going to have to be with a rain suit on because I don't have enough clothes on.
One thing about those pants you got on, Bobby, I noticed they don't inhibit your movement on the boat. They're kind of they're definitely athletic wear, aren't they? They look good.
Oh, they're perfect. I mean, it's going to creep up to 85 today, and I'll wear them all day. I mean, if I want to go golfing, I'll wear them golfing. If I want to continue to fish, they're light. You know, you don't feel the heat's what's nice about them.
The coolest thing about that, it's Toray fabric, but the cool thing about that Primeflex is the yarn is actually has spirals in it, so it's like spring-loaded pants.
You know, when we started down the path to create,
here we go.
And 1.8. No, that's a. I'm not weighing it. That's a 110.
All right.
I'm with you, Bobby.
Walker, you hooked up.
Hooked up. That'll get rid of that 1 pounder I caught.
Yeah, that's a good looking fish.
I'm still waiting.
Got lots
this
of
was,
you know, and when we started Langley, you know, we looked, Nick and Jeremy and I looked at a lot of fabrics, and
205.
205, nice fish. And Toray fabric is not the cheapest by any stretch, and we could have gone with a less expensive fabric, but you know, just for those that don't know what Toray is, Toray is used in Kuiu camouflage and Lululemon. You know, about all their products are made out of Toray. It is the most technologically advanced fiber in the world, I guess, on the planet right now. It's really good stuff.
Oh, that's cool. Well, what you described about that makes sense as why the pants have almost a like an elastic type feel to them. You know what I mean? They're very springy, like they spring back and forth.
They do, and the advantage is that unlike spandex, it doesn't retain the water. It's very water repellent, so it's perfect for fishing.
Yeah, I agree. I just wish I'd get some weather where I could wear my stuff.
Bobby, I got to be honest. I was kind of hoping it would go sideways from one of those dock owners to provide a little excitement.
Yeah,
but you're so polite and professional, Bobby, and I'm proud of you. And got us a little Elvis music this morning.
My wife just took a pair of Lululemons off, and these are Lululemons for men.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Elvis song we got was a tournament first, another tournament first.
That guy is great, and he sings it so perfect.
That's so funny.
Maybe next week, Bobby, if you come back to there, he could put his suit on, right?
I promise you, he would. That
and
guy
ride
is
with
an
you.
entertainer. Yeah, he'd love to. He will. I can go ask him.
Yeah.
And hold a pound of wings.
Yeah, exactly.
You're talking.
I'm making myself up.
So many fish here.
Wow, that just sounds awful, Bobby.
I'm telling you, it's no good. I think we got a weigher.
That one's got a little heft to it.
Looks good to me.
Looks like one of them Dardanelle bass.
Yeah.
Look how broad is, them Dardanelle bass.
Yeah, let's have a good look at
that up top.
The beauty.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be that's a John Cox bass. It's going to weigh 2.6.
John Cox gets annoyed by 2.6s.
Well, it's not 2.6. It's a 2.9, John.
Nice wow, fish. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Pretty one.
Nice.
Oh, fatted. I mean, it's a big, broad one. Oh, that was brilliant. Well, I got myself in the face with that one. I just wish this cold front has slowed everything down.
Except for the 111s. They don't care.
Golly, I didn't know this place had this many fish in it. This is crazy.
They thrive. They thrive at that temperature, those 111s, right?
Yes.
John, was that a swim bait?
Yeah, I'm chopping it off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a trap on here. Put the old war pig
Jeremy,
on, and there you go.
Jeremy, you asked earlier, what do we struggle with the most, or what's our toughest one? And you just hit it on the head with what John just did. Is half the time I tie a swim bait on, I clip it off within 3 throws. I just do not have a lot of confidence in a swim bait. And I wish I did, because it's really become a big player everywhere we go now.
Let's see.
Walker, you hooked up?
Oh yeah, got another one. He's a guppy. Definitely a bedfish though. He bit it twice. Second time I hooked him. 128.
128.
Yeah, he swatted it the first cast, and I threw right back in there, and he grabbed it again. That time he got hooked. Yeah.
John, I hate to tell you this now, but I was actually planning on posting the weights on social media after the tournament was over.
Oh, please do. Please do.
I might.
Hey, if you don't, I will.
Is the hack attack coming on, or are we not getting him this morning? I wanted to see how he's been holding out.
Well, I've been messaging him, but I have it on good authority that it's his anniversary. So,
Yeah,
he's out.
Happy anniversary, Greg. We won't talk to you.
I just hope he remembered yesterday in time to get that card and gift, right? Speaking from experience, that's something you don't want to miss.
Right.
And for those of you listening who don't realize it, it's Mother's Day on Sunday. So
swing and a miss.
Y'all have fished a lot of Mother's Days in the past.
Still on there. There he is.
Got one.
Oh man, this is going to be the. I'm afraid to think that's going to be that. I think we got. This might be a 112. Bite has definitely slowed down. All right, Captain Scott. There you go. I fished on there the whole time. Let's see. What's going on here? 0. It still ain't working right. 14 ounces. I mean, come on. Not that it really matters. I want my scale to work. 112.
112.
You called that one.
30 minutes
I
left.
call.
30-minute warning. And Bobby, if you catch another fish, I'll have to start another tally sheet.
It's been fun today. I don't mind telling you. This is fun.
Bob, did y'all retrieve that earplug that you lost overboard the other day?
We
That your
did
daughter
not.
lost? Oh, dear.
No, Bart, we did not. We have not been back out there since, but we did purchase another pair. So that's what you do when you have kids. You should just buy two to begin with.
That's funny. That I lost mine last week, and it fell in the water right as it was going down. And I was like, man, it's working great. Yesterday that we swapped my son's pair, and so I have his pair, and he's like, man, my left ear wasn't working. So I ended up getting the good pair on accident from him.
We call my youngest son Squatch because this kid literally breaks everything he has at least once and always has.
Oh my gosh.
What's that? Oh yeah, Bobby Jr. was captain break everything.
Guys, we're in the last 30 minutes here, so it's becoming a tradition to talk about bass biggest blunders. So I know you all have stories, so we got to hear them.
Biggest what? I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Biggest blunders with bass, and I think we've already heard one of yours, Bobby. So make sure you tell a fresh one.
Oh, God. I'll tell you one that hurt me the worst was at the Bassmaster Classic on Lake Hartwell. Ended up winning that event. The first day I only had 4 fish. I lost the tournament by a couple of pounds nevertheless, but I hooked one in 32 foot of water, and I know it was the right bait. On a drop, new hook, weight, everything was perfect, and I could see it coming up on my screen. Felt like it was, a 3 or 4 pounder. That's all I was catching in there. That fish pulled off about 5 foot from the boat, and I don't know why. Classic title #1, but just the thought of losing. I remember Walker talking about his over there in the Classic one time, and that brought back that memory. Just heartbreaking to the biggest tournament on the line at the time, and it was really yours to win. I ended up second, but nobody remembers second. They all remember who wins.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Only the guy who finishes second remembers that forever.
Yeah.
Except there we go. My AirPod died.
How about yourself, David? Any
Oh gosh, it's just so list just goes on. I remember one at the classic, which is another classic tale. So classic when Jay Ellis won it.
On Lay Lake.
But I knew that it was Sunday. It was the final day, and they don't move any water on Sundays. And so I didn't even go, and I went down the lake and fished all that bank grass, with a swim jig, and so here it is, and I'm catching them pretty regular all day, so I'm managing to cull up, so my stringer just keeps getting stronger. And I remember the camera boats were following me and stuff, and when the helicopters and stuff are around that you are doing really good. And that was before we really kept up with, they let you know what was going on. And so I knew I was doing good, but then at noon or 1 o'clock, for some unknown reason, they decided to run current. And because Jay Ellis fishless, and in the last hour he caught all his fish and won that classic, because for some reason they decided to run water when they weren't going to run water. So
Is that one of them things that make you go, huh?
Yeah, I mean, everybody talks about, when it's meant to be, it's going to be meant to be. But there's times when it's meant not to be, and it's like you try to figure out why that is. But I guess that was just one of them times.
Did you finish second, Dave?
Third, because Aaron was second and Jay was first, and they caught all their fish once the water started running, because they were all on the struggle bus because they couldn't. That river deal there is, there's no water running. You wouldn't even think there's a fish in there. And yeah,
I remember that tournament. It was a pontoon boat run between the bank and where Jay was fishing, and he threw that jig up in that prop wash and caught a 4.5 pounder.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
In like 3 foot of water.
Like I said, when it's meant to be or meant not to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was crazy. But yeah, you fish enough of these, you'll have some. And you wonder too, how many times did things like happen that cost you that you didn't even know that it happened, you know what I mean? Like last minute things like that happened to somebody that you didn't even realize it, that you cost you a win, and they just got, something just crazy happened to them at the last minute, and it worked out for them. Cox hasn't lost any tournaments, so he really doesn't have any.
I was going to say, he doesn't even have a story.
Yeah, right. No, so one that comes to me, I can't get over here that in this pocket, I don't know why they're all trying to spawn in this little pocket, but none of them are. They're just crazy. But one that sticks out to me the most is probably like one of my first big tournaments. It was down in Okeechobee, and in Okeechobee, like it was fishing a little tough, but somehow I was smoking them all the way to the last day. And last day, I think I had like an 11-pound lead, and I already had what I was going to do with the money. I was going to go get a new truck and had all this stuff in my head planned out, because I was thinking, man, all I got to do is catch about 10 pounds. Yeah, I was already counting the money. And
Scott Martin
I went out there, didn't he? Yeah. So it came down to the last 10 minutes, and I think I had like 8 or 9 pounds. All I needed like 10 pounds, I think. And I was throwing a paddle tail worm on top, and I was burning that thing, and here Moby Dick just hit it and just smoked it in the last 10 minutes, and I'm like, oh, this is it. This is the tournament. I'm going to win right here. And I set the hook on it, got the line tight, got her coming to the boat, and she just come off. And it was just like sickening. It was like, even though, I wasn't at weigh-in yet, I just felt like, wow, that, that might have just cost the whole tournament. And sure enough, Scott ended up beating me by like a pound. And, and everybody was like, man, how do you lose with 11-pound lead? And it was,
wow. Second catches him 24.
Yeah.
Can happen.
Yeah. So that was
a very humbling sport.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad that happened. Not really, but kind of glad, because I feel like it helped. Helped me realize a lot of things. It would have been bad. I think it would have been bad if it would have been my first big one and then won it, and then might have been a little spoiled.
You can see how easy it is.
It's dragging a shiner right through my fish. I'm trying to spin the boat around. They're floating the shiners right over the beds. They still
hey, that's
won't
how
eat
you
it.
catch them.
They won't eat. They won't even hit a shiner. Oh no, it's getting ready to get hit. Never mind.
Yeah, the only bass I've ever seen that wouldn't eat a shiner are dead.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, honestly,
I'm just wondering. There was another truck and trailer at the ramp, and we have not seen this. They must have sunk or something, because there's not anybody out here.
Yeah. Everybody that goes to that lake disappears.
Yeah.
Bobby, you didn't answer my question earlier. I think we got sidetracked. But if you have one color frog from now till the end of the time, what color black would it be?
Yeah, it's that forest black, I think they call it, and it's black. It's got a red throat, and it's got some yellow on the sides. It's kill everywhere I go. Clear water, dirty water, pre-spawn, post-spawn, summertime. It does not seem to matter. They just love that frog, and I throw it in both the popping frog and the walking frog. It doesn't seem to matter. They throttle that thing.
Who makes that frog that you're throwing?
The one that I was throwing was Spro, but I'm working on some. Hopefully down the road we'll get them right, but I'm working on one now. But Spro is the only thing I don't like about it is the hooks. You got to bend them up. You got to do all kinds of things to get them just right, and but it's a good frog. I mean, I catch a lot of people have caught a lot of fish on it. I've got no doubt in my mind that that's probably a hot seller.
What frog do you throw, John?
Well, I've been throwing the one Bobby's been working on a lot. So it's gonna be awesome once we get it right. But when I did really good in the cup that one year on the Iobi frog, and they don't make it no more. I think because everybody bought them up, and then everybody had enough, so no one ever bought any for the last 4 or 5 years. But I like throwing it more in like open water. I like throwing my frog more where you would throw your spooks or your Sammies, your popper style baits, and that's where I like throwing the frog. So that's why that one, I like that one a lot, because it was real easy to walk, and the hookups were great with it and stuff. And then I just, for like mats and real thick stuff, I just use whatever I got in there. It's either like in a bluegill pattern or like Bobby with the black.
When you think about how big of a game changer that Spro frog really was, when I hadn't really took the time to think about how that changed the whole category of baits. But before that, I guess you had the snag proof stuff, but you cast like a piece of popcorn, and
right.
You for sure couldn't skip it. And then along comes the Spro frog that you can literally put anywhere, and it catches fish in open water. You know, when you walk it, and I think a lot of people kind of forget that you don't necessarily have.
Me and old John, we had a conversation last night.
But you catch fish on riprap.
Me and John are working on a little something down the road here. I think it's going to be a killer once we get it right too. It's something we conjured up last night.
Right. Yeah. That thing. I'm super excited. You know, you don't get chills a lot of times when you're testing new baits and stuff. You're like, this could work. Maybe this. Man, I got chills and like couldn't even sleep the next night after I threw it some and got some bites, and I was.
Wayne, I got one.
Well, nobody does, but me and John. Nobody's gonna get one yet either. John gave me the chills just getting. He called me. He couldn't sleep, and I'm telling you, it's gonna be phenomenal.
It's gonna change up.
Chills, and I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, nobody does. The people that made it don't even know what it does yet.
Well, they don't. It's one of those things they don't know what they made yet.
Right.
But
it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It's not
I actually tried it last night, John, and it was unbelievable.
Right? Wasn't it? I'm telling you, man. The hairs on my arm stood up when figured it out, and it's like, gosh, man, this is gonna be a game changer.
Yep.
Especially for people that have, like me, I'm not good casting, casting around stuff. I kind of just lob it out there. I'm not very accurate, and this will. Don't
give away too much, John. Don't give away too much. You're killing.
That's all I'm saying.
I know you're having a tough day, or don't ruin something good.
Keep talking, John. Keep talking.
I gotta keep. Hey, they'll be like, oh yeah, we're not doing that no more. I won't get any more of them. Like, we can't trust them.
Guys, y'all can't take a Manjo Minna and rename it and think y'all created something.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Does the tail make it spin?
They welded a helicopter lure to a banjo Minna, and they've got it figured out.
And smashed it flat so it glides backwards.
There you go. I forgot about that. The flying lure.
Yeah.
Just put all three and put a bill on it and just make it the dancing eel, and we've got them all.
On the crankbait.
And don't forget the lights.
Choke that thing.
Oh, yeah, whatever happened to what was that? The one that Duck and Mike and Ellie were using forever. What was that thing? It had a little red dot. Laser lure.
Yeah, it was.
The laser lure. What a joke.
Yeah, it was like a cat chasing a laser pointer.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't believe they've seen Derby's one on that bait.
No.
I'd like to fish them if there was.
Sign me up against that thing.
Well, I'm there all day.
Is there a 10-minute warning, gentlemen?
10 minutes?
10 minutes.
It's already been 3 hours?
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun.
Oh. Yeah.
Or when you're not catching them.
I'm gonna say, John's
it's actually
saying,
true. When you're in a tournament day, when you're train wrecking them, it seems like it lasts forever. When you're not catching anything, look up and it's over.
Yeah. Like, what happened? That's the worst too. I mean, I've had times where I've rolled out of the hotel in the morning and just completely forgot everything, and I go out there and I fish, but I'm like just not there, and and just do completely awful. And then, it's just crazy how sometimes, that happens. Oh,
no, I've been there. But yeah, it's funny when you're just catching them. It seems like it just goes on and on and on. You look up and it's noon. You're like, holy crap! I thought it was 3 o'clock. And the opposite happens. You're out there driving the suck bus and can't get a bite. And you look up and it's 2:45, and you got to be at the weigh-in at 3.
Right.
Yep, I'm pretty sure we can all relate to the suck bus.
Yes.
Man, that's a bad bus to get on.
That is a bad one.
Golly.
Yeah, something about just, when you go fish a local derby, and I think that's part of it. And you're hard on yourself, but when you go, your lead event or Major League Fishing or FLW, and you just stink it up as bad as you possibly can, and everybody in the fishing world sees it, there's just something about that knot in your stomach. It don't go away very easy.
Right.
Look at that.
Who captured one?
Nice fish, Dave.
Not me. Must be David.
Yeah.
He's got a good one.
Oh. Bobby.
Nice one. Big
A little bit less than 7 pounds, probably.
Yeah. Quite a bit less than that. But you never know. I mean, I'm the one weighing them.
Oh, one just dropped it.
Oh, quick.
Well, guys, I think we can write this lake off as not one to ever come back.
Was that
you got a 272?
272.
I've had a lot of them lakes, John, that I wanted to pull the drain plug when I left it.
Gosh, I'm telling you. Have you even seen? I mean, this place looks good. It looks like it's got everything. I'm seeing shad pop. The water is 83 degrees, though.
You've seen fish on a bed, so you know there's like they're not there.
Yeah.
Jeremy, Jeremy, you were talking about sucking on your home lake. I think what happens a lot, I mean, I witnessed it this year, but it's you put too much pressure on yourself and then you get caught up in it, and before you know it, it's over. And all you did was rotate through all your old spots again. And when it's good, it's good. You know when you're going to catch them on your home lake. But man, that is the absolute worst when that happens.
Yeah, then that's when you get all the messages afterwards. Man, all you had to do was go here and throw this, and you would have caught 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody knows what to do after.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth?
And then oh, gosh, here we go. Oh, don't come off. Oh, it came off. Oh. That was a big one. That was a very big one. Oh, my gosh, it came off.
God, I just lost a good one myself. Unbelievable.
We got it again. He got it again. He must be the only one in here. Oh, it is a big one. Oh, watch there be a whole school here.
I don't doubt it.
Oh. Got an old war pig. Can I get down there? The sides are just a little too high.
You got one that weighs 12?
No, he isn't that big. He's probably, I don't know, 3.5 maybe. I don't want to big eyeball him again.
I thought you had like a 16-pounder.
Man, after the way the day's going, it felt like. Let's see. 310.
Nice fish.
Yeah, giant.
Good fish.
Let's see, maybe
Big fish for the derby.
Finally moved off the bank a little bit.
John, have you ever overslept and missed a takeoff?
Oh,
I did.
they
Bill, Bill Taylor called me one morning and asked me if I was going to participate in the top 10 over there at Ouachita. I told him I was brushing my teeth and he had woke me up, and I was like, what an idiot.
That's funny.
Bobby, there's a tournament going on today, and you're in it. You want to maybe come to
that must have been the cup then, right?
No, it was it was at Ouachita when I was jumping a road, and it was my rookie year. It was my third top 10, and I was jumping a road to catch my fish, and they put the road. I wasn't allowed to take the cameraman over the road, so we had to go up into Felsenthal, which was like a huge. You know where that's at, Bart, right?
Yeah.
We had to lock from. I was fishing the Darbone area. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. I was in there, and they put it off. I was jumping a road into a little pond that was real flooded, and we had to go up there. And he called that morning and asked me if I wanted to come to the takeoff.
That's funny right there.
My worst has to be I drove all the way to Eufaula to fish a Fisher's of Men one time, and we didn't get there until about midnight, and then we fell asleep at like in the Burger King parking lot, and then the tournament director, we told him we were coming. He called us about 9 and asked us if we were going to show up, and we grabbed some Burger King, and they met us at the ramp, and when we got there, I still had shiners in the live well from doing a guide trip the day before. and he was checking the live wells, and he's like, you probably need to get those out. And I was like, oh my God, I forgot all about it. So we dumped those in, and then we ended up winning the tournament.
Hey, there's a theme. John's always got shiners in the boat.
Shiners or crawfish?
Yeah, don't leave home without it.
Is that a 111? I bet that's a 111. I'm going to weigh it just to see. That looks like a 111.
And with Bobby's fish, guys, that's it. That's 3 hours in the bag. It's high noon.
Man.
Sweet.
Nice going, guys.
Yeah.
6.
Good job, Bobby.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Bobby. And David, that last fish brought you really close. John, just keep fishing there, buddy.
John, we'll check back in about 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah, check in on me in a couple hours.
Oh, yeah.
Thank guys, you. Appreciate y'all participating very much.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
We enjoyed it. Thank you.
It's good to get out here and just get back after it, you know. We got to get back to normal. And doing this stuff like this will get us heading that direction.
Right.
Yes, and thanks to all the viewers and to all the sponsors. We appreciate it. Thank you for watching Real Masters and with David Walker, Bobby Lane, and John Cox.
Glad Bobby got that big fish thing off his back, you know.
I told you I wasn't going to catch no big ones in here, but I got a feeling I was going to catch some. I want to say thanks to my wife again for another awesome 3 hours of putting this on, and happy Mother's Day to everyone this weekend. We're heading to the beach, and we hope everybody has a wonderful Mother's Day. Can't wait to see the group soon.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Wives, without the fishing wives, we wouldn't have a fishing trail. I can tell you that much.
All right.
That is the truth.
Yep. Oh, gosh. All right. Well, you guys take it easy. Be safe going home. And sounds like we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks,
Thanks,
Rip.
guys.
All right. Sounds good. See you guys.
Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.